Hey there, I'm Robin Coates.
Hey, I'm Lara Shue. It's good to see you, my dear friend.
It's
Been
so
a
good to
while.
be here. Yeah. We are so glad to be here. Lara and I have worked on, we used to blog together, and we have been talking about doing a podcast for literally years. We actually started a radio show, or we started recording video, or I don't know if they were videos, but audios for radio. I guess they weren't videos, not for radio.
Yeah,
But
audios for a video or a radio station, like little blurbs.
yeah, we got about 14 of those, and that was probably about 7 to 10 years ago. And here we are. We have been talking about doing a podcast, and we're, as Lara, you like to say, we're ripping it like a Band-Aid and just doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited because it's time to like share all these discoveries and like have recordings of them, whether it's just our kids that get to listen to it or things we can reference back to, but hopefully to just make this available to everybody so they can share in like this journey of growth and discovering purpose and just, I don't know.
That's so good. So Lara and I started a blog back in 2011, and the reason we started that blog, do you remember, Lara, when we started that? Do you remember what kicked that off? You had a conversation with one of your friends on the East Coast, and I had a conversation with, I think it was a former student, and both of them, you and I were like, we want to help people. And so we started this blog, and we not only wanted to help other people, but Lara, I remember you talking about, I want a place where I can store lessons for my children. And so a lot of it was just us being moms of young kids, us wanting to kind of preserve our lessons for the next generation. And so it kind of began there, and we had a lot of twists and turns, and we did the blog for a while, and we published a book together on Piece of Food. And then there's been kind of like these 7 years of, I'll say, silence, as far as we haven't been out there on the brain, out on Facebook and not as we've kind of been, but we've both been on this journey that God's taken us, and now wanting to share the lessons that we're a lot older, but a lot wiser, in that we've learned a lot. And one thing that's really kind of brought up this subject of wanting to share what the lessons we've learned with the next generation is, I've really been in the past 6 months really helping my parents kind of tie up kind of loose ends, end of life type stuff. And it's really made me go, it's now, the time's now to capture this stuff and to get it someplace where we can share it. And throughout the years, Lara and I periodically are like, we got to do a podcast. And I know this isn't an official podcast, but I think this might be the best version for us, at least in this.
Yes. Well, and think we're going to be talking about in a future episode, the low-hanging fruit. I mean, this really is the low-hanging fruit for us. Like, it's so easy to not want to do things because of all the logistics and feeling like it needs to be perfect, but really it's just, we can hit record and get a lot of really fruitful things just out of talking and, diving in on these topics. So hopefully we'll have people share along with us.
Yeah. And in this journey, Lara and I are really about taking immediate action. And this is a lesson I learned from Lara, and it's an incredible strategy, and she calls it a timed task. Lara, your time task. And this thing is, powerful. Some people might call it magical, but what it is it's tapping into a principle that, when you tap into principles, there's power in principles. And that's exactly what you're doing when you're tapping into a time task. So Lara, how about if you kind of, I don't know, describe, explain, kind of tell where it came from, and then maybe we can give everyone a time to, we can close this out by giving people watching a time task where they can, experience the power of this principle.
Yeah, I don't know like the first time that I had done it, but I think we can all relate to moments where we're just stuck and we're unmotivated, and a lot of bad things happen when I get to that point because I just want to eat or just go down a terrible place, mentally.
Yeah.
And so I think doing something really bite-sized in a small amount of time where you can see progress quickly, it's incredible. Like, it's just so fast and it can change your mood instantly. And so I always did like the 5 minute, because I felt like in 5 minutes you can do anything for 5 minutes. But we've even talked about doing something as short as 20 seconds, you said a while back. And I completely agree. I would normally do something in the kitchen. I think that's where my first one started. I would set the timer on the oven for 5 minutes and just see what I could get done. And honestly, it was astonishing how much you can unload the dishwasher in 5 minutes and wipe off the counters a lot of times, even though sometimes you look at it and think this is going to take all afternoon. So it really just jump starts, your day, or, getting out of, a place of feeling stuck, and you can use it anywhere, anytime, but it's been a huge mental. Yeah,
man,
benefit.
we both have used that principle in getting out of the funk. I mean, Lara and I would be on the phone talking to each other, and one of us would say, man, I'm in such a funk, and get off the phone and set the timer, or say, maybe the kids are going to be home in 5 minutes or whatever, or the husband's going to be home, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get the dishes put up, or I'm going to get the toys picked up. And it was like, I cannot tell you how many times. It'd be interesting, fascinating to see. I mean, it works every single time. You start moving, and motion creates or changes your emotion. So if you're feeling like you're in the funk and you want to change that, get moving, because motion changes your emotion, and it gives you such a sense of like accomplishment. How many times have we started like, okay, I'm just going to clean off the island. We get it cleaned up, and now you are full on, I'm cleaning the house, or whatever it is, whatever it is you're tackling. So any task that you're looking at that looks overwhelming, you going, okay, I'm just doing just 5 minutes, and you hit that 5 minutes, and you are like you hit the ground running. So,
well, even yesterday I was trying to get caught up on farm bookwork, and I'm like a few months behind, and I finally was like, just do 10 receipts, just 10 receipts. I didn't time myself, but it was still just kind of like a 10 receipts and then you're done. Well, guess what? It was like, I can do 5 more. Oh, I can do 10 more. I'm still not completely done, but like, just getting that victory under your belt, once you see progress, you just naturally want to keep going. Now, there's probably been a few times where I've tried 5-minute time task or whatever, and I still just felt it was just hard. But more often than not, would you say, Robyn, it completely turned things around?
And I think that taps into a principle of order. And when you get order in your life, it starts changing the atmosphere. And so such a powerful principle that, I mean, I love it. It's something we use often. So in closing, we're going to encourage all of those listening for you to do a 5-minute time task. If that seems overwhelming, do 20 seconds, walk, run, walk, whatever, through that 20-second hall of pain. And maybe it's a stack of, maybe I got to back up. A stack of, mail or paperwork that you're like, it is so overwhelming. Okay, 20 seconds, just do the top one or the top 2, whatever. Or maybe it's the dishes, or maybe it's phone calls that maybe you have a long list of phone calls. Just dial. All you have to do is dial, and you're going to get the momentum going. It's overcoming inertia is what it's all about.
Well, it is. And what's funny is I've noticed in myself, after doing time tasks for years, our laundry room is right next to the kitchen. I've learned if I clean off the dryer, because that's usually like a place where people put stuff, for whatever reason, if I can just clean the dryer, it makes me want to move to my left. And then I end up cleaning right above the dishwasher. And then I end up cleaning right above the sink. So it's just like, so now sometimes I think, you know what? You don't have to clean the kitchen, just take care of the stuff on the dryer.
Yeah.
And that does it. So it's just like learning whatever it is that's going to like, click you into the next.
Yeah. So good.
Piece of motion. So yeah.
Good stuff. So that's a
today.
great place to leave it. So what are you going to do? Get your one thing. You can take action today. I mean, I think that's one thing Lara and I really want to encourage people to live in their purpose. But in order for you to live in your purpose, you got to take action, and you got to you just got to take the next step. And it might be like, okay, my purpose seems so big and lofty, but the next step might be take authority over the dishes in your sink and get those dishes into the dishwasher, get them clean. So just do the very thing that's right in front of you, the very next step. So
yes,
I think
good
well, you're
boy.
freezing. I was going to say, it looked like you were freezing up there. So I think we will say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.